Yes, sir. What's good? What's poppin', fam? What's poppin', fam? Back at it live and direct with another live. I know I didn't go live yesterday, but don't hold me to that shit. I'm gonna give you guys an extra live, so don't worry. I'll probably give you that extra live on Sunday. More than likely, you know what I'm saying? Had to come up. Some shit just came up yesterday I had to take care of. So I couldn't hop on, but you know what I'm saying? We coming back today with a vengeance, of course. I'm gonna give you guys a nice little yap session, as I have been doing, and we're just keeping it cooking it, man. We're just gonna keep it going. As I said, I'm looking to this weekend make some updates to the stream, make this shit a lot better in ways that I believe that I can. Cause you know what I'm saying? We're always trying to improve, always trying to cook harder on streams and shit. But I'm gonna give y'all a nice little yap session of shit that I've been seeing and or thinking about, of course. So give me 1 second here. We're gonna go get into this motherfucker. Hold on. Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right. Alrighty. I bet. So first thing, I don't know if you guys have been seeing, but Hassan Piker has been going viral. Hassan Kami Piker has been going viral because he apparently shocked his dog. He was streaming for a very long time. His dog was sitting somewhere in the background, and he shocked his dog. He shocked the shit out of his dog. Allegedly, of course. He's fighting against that narrative currently, showing off, oh, my dog doesn't actually have a shock collar or whatever. It was just a vibration collar or what the fuck ever. But based off what everybody's kind of saying, the evidence is kind of more looking like this nigga is shocking his dog or whatever. So why am I mentioning this to you guys? Well, I think this shows a bigger vision around the communistic mindset or the mindset of communists. Because as you guys know, Hassan Piker, for the most part, is a socialist communist based off a lot of his political views. And I think it's interesting. This whole situation with his dog is it gives you a chance to see the mindset of a lot of these communists. Communists, they hate free will. They hate the idea of freedom. They hate the idea of entities, whether it be people and or animals, exercising their free will or their intuition to any degree. Exercising their true nature to any degree. They want their dog to stay in the same place. You can't move. Do what I say. If you don't do what I say, you get shocked. This is why during a lot of communist revolutions and shit, millions of people die almost all the time because it's a fight against free will. With a lot of these socialists and communists, they're against capitalism. They're against the free market. They're against free will. This is why a lot of people on the left, the Dems, the liberals, the leftists, they hate having conversations and shit. They hate platforming and talking to right wingers. Conservatives usually have a very good understanding of leftist talking points. They understand Dems. They understand liberals. They understand where they're coming from. But for the most part, to make it very simple, conservatives are like, well, this is reality. Free will exists. And to them, niggas like Hassan, they're like, no, people must think this way. Everybody should be the same. There should be equality for everybody. But I'm like, we all operate differently. We all have different desires. We all make different choices. And because we make different choices, we get different outcomes. But in the foolish, crazy communist mind, it's like, no, everybody must be the same. Everyone must operate the exact same way. If you don't do what I want you to do, you get shocked. You can't move on your own. That's the communist morality. That's how they see things. They want you to be a certain way. You don't get to have free will. They don't like the idea of free will. They don't like the idea of freedom. Because freedom naturally creates what? Inequality, guys. That's just how it works. Because if I am free to make my own choices and you are free to make your own choices, we're going to get different outcomes. If I decide to do this thing over here, for example, even speaking more to the economy, if I decide to do things over here that give me skills that make me more money, and you decide to do things over here that don't give you new skills and don't make you more money, who's going to have more money, me or you? Obviously me, because I made different choices and decisions from you. That's just what happens. When there's freedom, there's going to be inequality. This is why communists, they hate fucking freedom. This is why they want to put a shock collar around your dumb ass and shock the fuck out of you. Because they know if you're left to your own devices, you're going to have things or you're going to get outcomes that other people are not going to get. And I know you guys are sitting here like, Ali, how are you just dragging all this from a dog situation? Because it's real. That's what it is. This is how a lot of these communists think. A lot of these communists, they don't want to talk to people. They don't want to have conversations. They don't even, that's why they don't like the idea of freedom of speech. This is why Dems and leftists and liberals, they love to censor people during the entire Biden administration. They loved censoring all conservatives. They loved censoring everybody on the right. They were going in and out of their way to censor people on the right. Right? Because they don't like having conversations. They just want to control your behavior. Because fundamentally, whether some of them are smart enough to understand it or some of them are not, they understand if people have free will, they're going to get different outcomes for me. It's just going to create inequality. We have to accept the fact, we have to understand the fact that some people want to work harder than others. That's just true. Some niggas are just innately want to work harder than others. If you're watching me, you're probably a guy who wants to work harder than other guys. Most guys don't want to work very hard. Most guys want to have their work-life balance and other shit like that. I don't subscribe to that shit. I don't want a work-life balance. I just want to work. I just want to grind. I just want to go harder than ever. I like pushing myself. I like seeing how hard I can go. I like seeing how much I can accomplish. I like seeing how much I can achieve. And you're more than likely the same way. That's why you're watching me. That's why you're part of the fam, right? For Young Ambitious Men. That's why you guys are here. So naturally, you guys are going to get different outcomes than guys that are the opposite of you. And communists, they don't like that. They don't like that inequality. They don't accept that reality. That's why they hate freedom. That's why Hassan be shocking the fuck out of his dog. He doesn't like his dog exercising its free will. It's innate desire. He wants to force the dog to do exactly what he wants to do. This is why a lot of these communists, they're self-centered, they're narcissistic. Because they're trying to force the world to be that it's not. They're trying to force the world to be a way that it's not. That's how they operate. They expect a dog to sit in the same place for 4 fucking hours straight, for 6 fucking hours straight, without moving or complaining or whining at all. That's their expectation. Is that real? Is that natural? Does it make sense for a dog to be operating that way? Fuck no. But if the dog tries to act on its nature, act on any kind of autonomy, shocked. You know what I'm saying? That's the situation. So I'm commenting on this situation so you guys can see and just get a better understanding of the morality of a lot of these communists, these Dems, these leftists. They hate reality. That's just the fundamental shit here. They just don't like reality. They don't like what's real. They hate freedom. They hate when other people can be free. That's why when Dems are in power, what do? They censor, they silence. They commit political violence even when they're not in power. They silence you. If they can't argue with you, they silence you. Because they know if you're free to think what you want to think and you start making too much sense, they can't combat against that because deep down, they don't want you to be free. They want you to just abide by what they want you to abide by. It's just narcissism. It's inherent narcissism. It's evil. They want to impede on your ability to make choices. This is why they always want to eat the rich, take from the rich. Which really just means I want to take from people who like to make different choices from me. I want to have your stuff for nothing just because I want it, just because I believe everybody should have what you have. But why? I worked for this stuff. Why should I give my shit that I worked for to you just because you want it? Why should the dog have to sit in the same place for 4 hours straight for no fucking reason? Why can't it walk around? I get everybody has their own rules or the way they want to operate with the animals that they have. Don't get it twisted, guys. But what I am saying here is, though, some things are just clearly unreasonable and unfair. I'm not some big animal safety and protocol guy. I'm gonna be real. I'm not. I don't have a dog. I don't have pets. I have a lot of respect for animals, though. You know, I wouldn't go in and out of my way to hurt an animal or anything like that ever. I think that's just wrong. Why would you go hurt a living being? Why would you go impede on the life of a living being for no fucking reason? I would never hurt an animal for no reason. You know? But I can see a situation where it's like, why are you treating the dog this way? Why do you even have a shock collar on the dog that's being quiet? The damn dog is sitting in the same place for 4 fucking hours. Like, you're shocking the fuck out of the dog just because it moves a little bit? This is how these communists are. Guys, this is how these leftists really think. This is how they really feel about shit. They want to control you. They want to control your behavior. Fucking imagine if Kamala had won, guys, in 2024. Cooked. Hell, my channel will probably even start getting nuked with a lot of my talking points that I've been making. Like, my channel will be getting nuked. A lot of people on the right will be getting nuked. A lot of conservatives. Your Crowders, your Nick Fuentes, your Myron Gaines, Andrew Tate, all these niggas. I mean, Fuentes doesn't even have a YouTube channel. Tate doesn't even have a YouTube channel. Only imagine what would have happened if Dems were in power. They would have silenced everybody because they don't want to debate. They don't want to have arguments. They don't want to talk to other people. They just want to control what you do. This is what these communists want to do. They hate that you have free will. They hate that you make your own decisions. Because they understand you making your own decisions, you having free will allows you to have things and gain things they can never hope to imagine to have themselves. So they'd rather take it from you. They'd rather make sure that you can't have that shit. They'd rather work you like a dog. They'd rather make you a slave so you do things for them. This is why all these communist regimes always crash and burn, because it goes against what is natural. Leftists just hate what's real. They just hate reality. This is why facts, it makes them implode. Hell, that's them getting shots. When you tell a leftist there's only two genders, they're just pronouns don't exist. A man can't become a woman. Get shocked like crazy. That's what the truth and facts does to them. So I just want you guys to really understand. That's how a lot of these leftists and liberals and Dems think. They're not really concerned about what is real. They're not really concerned about facts. They're not really concerned about common sense. They don't give a fuck. They just want to control your behavior. They hate freedom. They hate the idea of freedom. This is why a lot of the times the way that they behave, they hate this country. And obviously they'll say, oh no, this is for America and blah, 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 blah. Nigga, it's not for fucking America. You guys hate everything that is American. You hate the idea of freedom because freedom lets people make their own choices. And when people make their own choices, they're going to get different outcomes from you. They're going to operate differently from you. This is why they have to silence and censor. This is the only way they can fight against the truth or reality. They can't let other people speak. So fucking stupid. I understand why people fucking hate Hassan, bro. Fucking dickhead, bro. Shocking the fuck out of your dog for no fucking reason, bro. For what? Just because the dog moved a little bit? But that's the mindset of a lot of these communist guys. That's how they think. They hate everything that is natural and just real. They hate the idea of freedom. They hate it. You have to do what I want you to do only. You can't do anything else. You can make no decisions. That's why they silence. That's why they censor. That's why they kill you. That's why they want to kill you. That's why a lot of these leftists want to kill conservatives. Conservatives just speak. Conservatives just exercise the freedoms that the founding fathers built this country on. And they hate that shit because it leads to outcomes that they can never hope to have themselves. And even if they could hope to have those outcomes, they still want to control everybody else. Hassan makes a ton of money, but still he retorts these ideas of taking from rich people. I'm like, nigga, you're rich yourself. The contradictions are there too. For a lot of these communists, it's just evil inherently. So anyway, that's just my whole opinion on the whole Hassan situation and all that other bullshit. This is how communists are fucking are, bro. That's how their morality works. They just seek control over everybody else. They hate the idea of freedom. They're anti-freedom. They want to take all your stuff. They want to kill you if you have any dissenting opinion or if you think differently. If you're not willing to just give up all your stuff for free to everybody for no fucking reason, if you're not willing to give your hard-earned money and your hard-earned resources to fucking Juan, who just hopped the border yesterday, you're an evil person. Like, that's their logic. And actually, the last thing I'll kind of say on this too is if somebody forces you to feel a type of way, if somebody forces you to think a particular way, they hate you. That's it. That's a wrong. That's what evil inherently is. If I say you can only think this, you can only feel this, I'm wronging you. That's a wrong. If I'm saying you have to believe that there's 99 genders, if I'm saying you have to believe that trans women are women, or you get shot in the neck, or I shock you, I'm committing a crime against you guys. I'm impeding your freedom. I can't tell you guys how to feel. I can't even tell you niggas what to think. Of course, I can give you the opportunity to think about stuff based off what I say, but I can't force you to think certain things. I can't. So if I start forcing you to think certain things, if I start forcing you to believe certain things, I'm committing a crime against you. I'm impeding on your freedom. And obviously, as you many of you guys know, this is how the left operates. 2020 was a great example of a lot of this nonsense. You know, they for oh, you're racist, oh, you're bigoted, you're a bad person. But this has nothing to do with racism or bigotry. I'm just saying niggas are kind of violent over here. No, it doesn't matter. That's racist. Like, do you see what I'm saying? They're impeding on your thoughts. They're saying you can't think that. I'm like, how? I'm a human. I think. What the fuck? Because when you start thinking, they threaten violence against you because they know, hey, if I threaten violence against this guy, he won't think those thoughts anymore. See, impeding on your freedom to think. I hope this is really making sense for you niggas. I want you guys to see how these niggas are evil and they impede on your freedom. Because I'll be real with you. These leftists and these liberals and these Dems are evil. The evidence is there. It speaks for itself in their behavior, in their morality. When they be shocking dogs and shit, you can see the evil. You can see it for yourself. Unlike them, I actually have evidence of the dumb shit they do. I have the evidence of their evil. They'll just call you a Nazi or fascist or whatever for disagreeing that trans people don't exist, that men can't become women. They'll just say you're a Nazi or a fascist just because you disagree. They don't even let you explain. But on this side of the aisle, we have the evidence that you niggas are just evil, that you niggas are more than willing to impede on the rights of people just because you disagree, not because you actually have any logical reason behind it, not because there's detail behind your thoughts or your ideas, but just because you don't like what they fucking said, so they should be silenced. That's evil. I don't know what you guys constitute as evil, but that's pretty evil to me. If I don't like something you're saying and I want to kill you or stop you from talking or hurt you, that's pretty evil. That's what evil people do. That's how bad people operate. So anyway, these fucking Dems, leftists, and commies, bro, just like fucking stupid, fucking evil, bro. And they always end up showing their true colors at the end of the day, as you guys have seen with Hassan. So, okay. So other thing I want to get into here or talk about, very important, and actually is a perfect segue. Speaking of freedom here, because men live for freedom. As men, we all want to be free, right? We want to be free to do what we want, say what we want, operate how we want to. You know, we want to have control over this universe that we live in. That's our God-given ability. That's the ability that God has given man. Man, the ability to manipulate the world around him. That's why we have a society. That's why I have this light. That's why I have this laptop. That's why I have this headset, right? I have all these things because men were able to manipulate reality to create things that they wanted. And in order to do those things, you need freedom. You need the freedom to express your ideas and create them in the material world. So how do you do that, though? How, as men, do we gain freedom? You know, you could probably think about this at higher levels. You're like, oh, if I had money, I'd be free. Or if I lived here, I'd be free. If I did this, I'd be free. That's kind of how we think about it. But freedom always will start here. It always starts in your mind. It always begins and ends in your mind. A man is free once he frees himself up here. You are free in reality once you are free in your mind. Because your reality is dictated by your mentality. What separates all men on this planet right now is mentality, not reality. Because it's your mentality that allows you to manipulate reality. And specifically when I talk about mentality, what I mean is realizing if you want to manipulate the world or reality to have the things that you say you want to have, the fast cars, the house, the bad bitches, everything, anything that you as a man you aspire to, 2 billion kids, great conquest, whatever it is. First, you must be responsible for yourself in all ways and all degrees. All blame must be on you at all fucking times. Everything must be your fault. Because once everything is your fault, you have the freedom to solve all of your problems. As I just described here, y'all, your mentality creates your reality. If in your mentality, everything is your fault, you're responsible for everything in your life. You blame nobody for anything that you don't have. You're like, I want something. I don't have the thing. How do I get it? It's on me that I don't have this thing. What do I need to do? And then you're able to do what? Figure out what you need to do. You're able to start solving problems. And if everything is your fault, what does this mean? You can solve all of your problems, which makes you what? Free. Free. Like fucking Aaron. I don't know if you guys have seen that manga panel with Aaron, or even in the anime if you guys have watched Attack on Titan, but you free, nigga. You free. Or like Luffy. You know what I'm saying? You're free. Because you've taken full responsibility for everything in your life. Now you can solve all your problems. If you're like, damn, I don't have the money I want. Well, let me figure out how to get that money. Damn, I don't have the physique I want to have. Well, let me figure out how to get that physique. You know? Damn, I don't have the bitches I want to have. Well, I guess I should learn how to deal with women. And the list just goes on and on for everything in your life. Damn, I don't have the best relationship with my family. Random thing there, but another thing. Well, let me figure out how to have a better relationship with my family. Whatever it is as a man, there's nothing you can't have if everything is your fault. You can have everything you want to have if everything is your fault. That's what the key to freedom is. The key to freedom is accountability. And what's funny, I'm taking shots at women here because we gotta remind ourselves that women are retards so we can fix fucking society. You gotta remind you niggas of that. This is why women struggle so much with freedom. Why? Because women usually lack what? Accountability. This is why women are not good at having freedom, because they're not good at blaming themselves for problems. They're not good at that shit. When we leave women to their own devices and they fuck up, they'll find a way to blame a man. They'll do some dumb shit and they'll be like, oh, I'm just a girl. Which really just means a man shouldn't have allowed me to do this. Why did a man allow me to do this? I'm just a girl. But at the same time, when things are going great, oh, I'm an independent woman. I'm a strong woman. I can do whatever the fuck I want to do. Hence why society's getting destroyed. That's another reason, because we have so many women in positions of power and the female mind is controlling the social order in the United States, and women are not good at taking accountability. So it's like we are supposed to celebrate women while also never judging them. But you can only celebrate people who earn what they get. And when it comes to earning something, that means you need to take on pain, because in order to gain, you must feel pain. Just like to earn muscle, you must feel pain in the gym. So for women, because they have no stakes, because it doesn't matter what a woman does, she will always be praised and uplifted. If she's a whore, we uplift her. If she's a career woman, we uplift her. If she's a housewife, we uplift her. So there's no L. They can't really take L, so they don't earn anything. You just already have everything you need. It doesn't matter what you do. Like, you're just gonna win. So there's no real accountability. There's no checks or balances on what you guys do. You guys can just do whatever the fuck you want to do. Which is why they struggle so much with freedom. And which is why we don't take their freedom seriously, because they didn't earn their freedom. We just gave it to them. Understand? But for us as men, it's different. We have to earn our freedom through accountability. We have to put on all this pain on ourselves, because it's obviously easy to blame others for our problems. It's easy to say, oh, society did this, or my mom did this, or I live in this wrong situation. It's easy to do those things to avoid that pain. But because we never take on that pain of blaming ourselves for everything, we never get the gain of learning how to solve our own problems to get the shit that we want, meaning we never become free. Understand? But when we take on all that upfront pain, when we take on all the problems that are in our lives, when we take on all these issues or whatever, what ends up happening is now we can solve our problems, as I've been saying. So we earn the gain by taking on the pain of the blame. In comparison to women, they don't ever take on blame for anything. You literally cannot blame women for anything in society at all. They will find a way to blame a man. So because they never take on that pain, they can't really be free. Freedom comes with a cost. Freedom does not mean you just get to do whatever you want. Freedom is the ability to take on consequences and also take on wins. It means you are free to win and you're free to fail. That's what freedom allows, because you're not free if you can't really fail. We're ensuring that you're not free if you can't fail. So this is why women aren't even really free, because they can't fail. There is no L for them. We save them no matter what. So they can't be free. You're under our rules still. If we actually left you guys to your own devices, do whatever you want, let's say we put all the women in another country, it'd be over for those niggas. They would just get invaded and they'd be cooked. You know what I'm saying? Because they can't actually handle freedom. They can't defend their sovereignty because they can't solve their own problems. They have to rely on a man to do that. They have to rely on a man to fight and defend and protect them. I wanted to make sure that you guys understand that shit too, so you understand why society's getting fucked and the differences between men and women there. Like, we earn our freedom by taking accountability, and by taking on accountability, we naturally have to take on pain. That means you have to say my fault, and that hurts. It hurts a lot of you bitch ass niggas. It hurts a lot of you bitch ass niggas with a victim mentality to say my fucking fault. But that's also why your life is shit. So you should probably stop saying that, oh, it's somebody else's fault, and start blaming yourself more, and your life would be way better. You know? Whereas comparison to the female side of shit, they don't really ever say my fault. It's always a man's fault. So, like, bitch, you're not really free. You can't even take on your own pain. You're just expecting a man to always solve your problems whenever shit goes wrong. So even when shit is good, it's not really good because you didn't do that. A man did that for you. So that's the whole situation there. If you guys want to be free, you have to take on accountability for all problems and issues and circumstances in your life, because that makes you free. This makes you realize that the world becomes your oyster. This has helped me out a lot, by the way. Like, accepting this and drilling this into my mind super fucking deeply. I'm like, yo, the world is really my oyster now, my nigga. Like, I can really do whatever the fuck I want to do, because whatever it takes to get there, I'm willing to blame myself for finding the solution and searching for the solution. I'm willing to be like, it's on me to find this solution to get this thing that I want, which means I'll get the thing that I want, because I've taken on the issues or problems or the blame to figure out what the solution is. So you guys should be the fucking same, because you'll become ridiculously free. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, that's how I see that situation. That's how I see freedom. That's what it means to be free. Freedom just means accountability. The man who takes on the most accountability is the most free. So do that shit, my niggas. Must do that shit. Okay. Last thing that I kind of want to get into here, not even kind of, I want to and I must get into for you niggas, because it's very, very important. And that's with AI. So as I've been scrolling Twitter, you guys should follow me on X, by the way, at Ali Arugundade, because I be going crazy on X. I be tweeting a lot on there, talking about a bunch of political stuff and other things too that I just be commenting on that I have awareness of. But I was seeing a lot of talk of AI, especially with Matt Walsh, who's a political commentator, or a conservative political commentator. He was like talking about AI earlier today. He was saying, oh my God, you know, why is nobody so worried about AI? Like, AI's coming. They're going to take all these jobs from all these Americans. Millions of Americans are going to be unemployed. Oh, what the fuck? Ah. And to me, looking in this situation, I'm like, you see with AI, and you see with winners and men who win, and the men who reach the peak of their power, they're not afraid of AI. They're not afraid of what's coming with AI. And why is that? Because in every single crisis, guys, there's opportunity. That's how men who are winners always think. That's why you can see guys who bad things are just like constantly happening to them, but for some reason they just keep getting fucking better. It's like, why is this nigga cooking? All this bad shit is happening to him. Why does he keep getting better? Because a man who is a winner, who's always gonna make it to the top no matter fucking what, he understands that no matter what happens to him, there's gonna be an opportunity somewhere for him to succeed. So with AI, it doesn't matter if millions of Americans lose their jobs. The millions of Americans in there that lose their jobs, they'll just find another way to win. They'll find a way to make use of AI. They'll look for the new opportunities that are 100% going to be created, because AI takes all these other jobs. It's going to create new jobs. Matt Walsh's rebuttal to this was like, oh, well, all you niggas are saying, oh, it's going to create all these new jobs, but realistically, only like 10 or 20 people are going to become trillionaires, and they're not going to hire any of you niggas because they got AI working for them. Well, okay. A loser would be like, oh my God, Matt, you're right. My life is cooked. What the fuck? But a winner, a real nigga, will look at the situation and be like, well, that could be true. But on the other side of this, now we have millions of Americans filled with attention that could be used in some way. That's how a winner will think. He'll be like, well, okay, that's true. These trillionaires made all this money. They're not looking to hire the regular Americans anymore because the AI can just do the job better. So what are all these millions of Americans going to do? Well, a real nigga will find a way to make use of that attention. You see, humans will always find ways to make other humans useful, because the will is there to make other humans useful. Humans always find ways to make themselves useful. With a will, there is a way. If you really want something bad enough, you'll just find a way. That's how humans have existed throughout time. We'll just find ways to do things, no matter what fucking happens. In every single crisis, there's an opportunity. Do you honestly think a real nigga who's honestly thinking, when he sees that AI has taken millions of jobs and these Americans are all out of work, you think a very smart nigga, a very intelligent nigga is not going to look at all these millions of human beings without jobs, filled with attention that could be used in some direction or some way, and not going to think of a way to make use of them? Of course they are. And an even bigger point that I want to make off of this is understanding that there's things that are known and important, and there's things that are just known but not important, and there's things that are important but not known. For example, it's known and important to you right now that you need to go and make money. You need to go outside and make money so you can survive. That's known and important to you. That's why you go and work. That's why you go and make money, because that's known and important. AI is one of those things that is known. We know AI is coming, but is it the most important thing you should be concerned about right now, for example? No, it's just not. It's just not here yet. You don't know what AI is going to entail. We have these predictions of what AI is going to do, but nobody really fucking knows what's going to happen. None of us fucking know what's going to happen. We're just sitting here and just kind of predicting and thinking about, okay, I wonder how AI is going to operate, but we don't know what's going to happen. You have way more important shit on your plate. You should be focusing on becoming as capable and irreplaceable as possible. And this is a message that's always been emphasized since entrepreneurship was created. You want to become somebody that's irreplaceable. That's what leads to you making a lot of money anyway. When you're even working for a job or a company, if you have a skill set and if you're so competent that nobody else is at your level of competence, obviously you're going to get better benefits than anybody else because you're irreplaceable. So that's something that would be important regardless of anything, regardless if AI is here or is not here. And it's so funny because all these niggas are so worried about AI taking jobs. I'm like, nigga, well, you had all this time to understand the known important thing, which is you should be becoming as capable, as smart, as intelligent, as fast as possible as a man anyway. You should have already been doing this. So if you're worried about AI, you're going to be worried about whatever else was going to happen anyway. If it's not AI, whatever other thing, you are going to be worried. You're always going to be perpetually worried. And that's what I'm saying. Losers always lose. Winners always win. Because winners always find ways to win. Winners always put themselves in positions to win. Losers always put themselves in positions to lose. So when losers are looking at AI coming, they're like, oh shit, I'm a bum. I'm going to lose my job. Well, nigga, that's your fault. You weren't focusing on what was known and important, which was you becoming as capable as possible. Now your dumbass is focusing on what is known, but it's not even important right now, which is, oh my God, AI is going to take my job. Well, nigga, you should be focusing on becoming as competent as possible then. Because if you just focused on that this entire time, it wouldn't matter if AI is coming or not. Hell, you would even be making use of AI right now, which I highly recommend for a lot of you guys. If you can, for whatever businesses you guys are pursuing or whatever else you guys are doing, you should be finding ways to make use of AI because the shit is coming. That is a known thing. It's a known thing. So you might as well make use of it where you can. I'm usually not in the camp of, I want to be making all these predictions about different things because I understand that if I'm just as competent as possible or as competent as I could possibly be, what happens in the future doesn't fucking matter because I'm going to make use of whatever happens. I find opportunity in every single crisis, and you guys should also be finding opportunity in every single crisis as well. That's how you guys should always be operating because then you never lose. Niggas who lose, it's because their mind makes them lose. They look at situations and they find ways to lose. Winners look at situations and only ever find ways to win. Even if it's a small win, they find a way. And those small wins stack up anyway to a big win. Whereas losers always find ways to lose. This is why losers looking at AI are like, oh my God, everyone's going to lose their job. Ah! Well, yeah, if you're a bum ass nigga and you're not capable at all, you're not even good at your job fucking anyway. You weren't even making that much money anyway because you were pretty shit at your job. So yeah, maybe AI should be taking your job, nigga. You're not even working. Maybe AI should be taking your shit. You should be scared. Because real niggas are not scared. Real niggas are like, all right, whatever. We'll just see what happens. Bum niggas, of course, are going to be scared. They're losers anyway. They're already losing. They're already in some dead-end job doing some bullshit that they don't even really fucking care about. Not competent, not capable. So, of course, they're going to complain. Losers always fucking complain, guys. That's what it means to lose. As I was saying with the whole accountability thing and freedom thing. Winners don't complain about shit. Winners blame themselves for everything and just figure out a way. Losers are always going to complain about everything. Losers are always going to complain about AI. They're saying, oh my God, AI is horrible, blah, blah, blah. Instead of finding a way to make use of AI. And not even that it's even important for them to make use of AI yet, because as I said, we still don't know what's going to happen with AI. All we do know is that it's coming. That's set in stone. We know that's true. We don't know how important it is going to be in the future. We don't know exactly what role it's going to play. We know it's coming, and we know it's probably going to be important, but it's just not that important yet because it's yet to be seen what's going to happen. Because a side note of this, you also don't want to be that type of nigga who is trying to completely plan out his success. Why? Because it stagnates your movement. You won't take action if you're constantly trying to plot and plan out every single fucking step like a dumbass nerd. You're like, okay, this is going to happen, then this is going to happen. I'm going to go here. Nigga, because that's not how life works. Life is unpredictable. You don't know what's going to happen next, which is why you just have to move and improve. You have to move, go through a crisis, see the opportunity, improve again, and you keep moving. Then you go through another crisis, you see the opportunity, improve again. Every single man who's reached the peak of anything, when he talks about his backstory or his come up, was it ever a straight line of shit? No. Random bullshit happened. They learned, improved, and moved. They learned, improved, and moved. You know? So that's how you would even see the situation with AI anyway. Whatever happens with AI, you're just going to improve and move anyway. The niggas who are worried about AI are bums anyway. That's why they're worried. They're bums. They know deep down, like, damn, I'm a fucking loser. So if AI comes, it's going to take my job because I'm a loser. Okay, then that means you deserve that shit. Real niggas don't give a fuck. Real niggas are like, oh yeah, bring on the AI. I don't care. Who cares if millions of Americans lose their jobs? A real nigga will just find a way to make use of those millions of Americans again. With AI just being present now. That's just how it's going to work. So that's my whole view and position on AI, and why a lot of you niggas should not be fucking scared. If a lot of you niggas were sitting here, bro, I don't know, Ali, I'm kind of scared of AI. I don't know what the fuck's going to happen. You're going to be all right if you're a winner. If you were sitting here and making sure you're becoming as capable as possible, as strong, as smart, as capable as possible. You're even finding ways to make the limited AI we have now as useful as possible for you and whatever you're pursuing, your business or your entrepreneurial venture, right? You're already in a good position. You're already making use of what is to come, which is great. But even if you're not making use of AI yet, if you're already a winner, if you're already a man who's capable, has the ability to grow, who always finds opportunity in every single crisis, whenever a bad thing happens to you, if you're always like, okay, what can I do? What can I improve? You're going to be fine too. You're just going to find a way. So definitely AI is not something for you niggas to be worried about. I don't want any of you niggas in the fan to be worried about AI or look at it in a negative light. Because let's be real, even if AI got destroyed, if we try to stop niggas creating AI, niggas would just find a way to do it in secret. Bro, if niggas want to get shit done, they're going to get shit done. This is also why the whole gun ban thing doesn't make any sense, because if you ban niggas from guns who abide by the law, do you think niggas who break the law are going to also lose their guns? No, they're just going to find ways to get guns. They're just going to smuggle it from outside the country and make sure they have guns, you know? So AI is coming no matter what. AI is just going to come no matter what. So you might as well be in this position where, well, I'm the type of nigga who's going to win regardless. I'm the type of nigga who's always going to find opportunity in every single fucking crisis. I'm going to win no matter what. So bring on the AI. I don't care. That's how all you guys should be operating. That's how you guys' mind should always work. Always winning, always winning. It doesn't matter what happens. I'm just going to find a way to win more and more and more. It's like an addiction. It's like you can only see W at all times. So, yeah. Great way to end off there. You know what I'm saying? If I do say so myself. So, yeah, that's kind of the situation. Hassan's a dumbass nigga, pretty much. If you want to have freedom, then you need accountability. You need to blame yourself for everything. Don't be like a fucking woman who doesn't take accountability. It's always a man's fault. That's why society's cooked. Take accountability for everything in your life and you'll be free. And look at the whole AI situation. You should be ecstatic. You should be excited. You should be hyped for what's to come next with this AI shit. If a millions of Americans lose their job, oh well, we'll see what we got to do. We'll see what is going to happen next, how we're going to operate next with that whole situation, because the winners are going to win and the losers are going to continue to lose. The losers are always going to complain. The winners are always going to find a way to win. So I'm excited for this shit. You should be excited for this shit too. And yeah, so with that being said, I'm going to have to catch the fam again tomorrow. And like I said, I'm going to give you guys the extra stream probably Sunday, because since I missed yesterday, I want to make up for that shit. You know what I'm saying? I want to do right by you niggas, of course. So, yeah. And also upgrades coming to the stream too as well. So, yeah. I'm going to catch you boys tomorrow. Deuces, fam.